Hi, and welcome to this week's edition of the Las Vegas Advisor Weekly Update with Anthony and Andrew. Today is August 4th, 2023, and there's a lot of exciting things going on in Vegas. There is an Oyster deal at the ARIA that we're going to talk about. Anthony's going to let us in on his MEGABUCKS story that we teased in the live that we did about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I forgot to tell that story. I was supposed to tell it in the live cast, and I didn't. So.
People were commenting. They're like, what about that MEGABUCKS story?
Where's the story? So we're going to tell that a little bit later.
But let's start with Rio. What's going on at the Rio, Anthony?
Well, the Rio is going to, we've talked about this before. They've been, they were sold a few years ago. A company out of New York called Dreamscape is now the owner. And we've talked about this, that they're going to put in $350 million redevelopment.
Yeah.
But now they've kind of released some details. And the main thing, the guy who was talking was Eric Birnbaum, who's the CEO there. And it's funny, he made a comment. He goes, the Rio's kind of dirty.
Okay.
So, I mean, that'd be a big cleaning job, $350 million, right? But, they want to spiff the place up all the way. They're going to start with the rooms. They're going to start with the Ipanema Tower and then the Masquerade Tower like 18 months later. And, during the process, they're going to renovate the casino, the convention facilities, the shops, and the pool area. All right. But what really was interesting, he was telling this to the Gaming Control Board, and they asked him about the buffet. Because a lot of people have asked about the Rio buffet. If the Rio's going to come back, then shouldn't they come back with a buffet, right?
Well, let's see. Well, are they?
Well, not according to this guy, Eric Birnbaum.
Okay.
Here's what he said. Here's this quote, which I found really interesting. He says, unfortunately, the buffet has probably seen its last day. I think he's speaking about his own, not buffets in general. From just a pure economic perspective, it's really, really difficult to make that math work, which I don't agree with. And then when you layer in COVID and people's sensibilities of having food out in the open and germs, people's psychology has changed, and as a result, we are not going to have a buffet.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe that.
Yeah, you said you don't agree.
Well, I don't agree, for one. I mean, when you talk about the Rio, people remember two things about the Rio. If you were here in the beginning when the Rio opened in 1990, the Rio was like one of the first cool places.
Yeah.
Off of the Strip. They had the first nightclub, which was Club Rio.
Okay.
And they had the Ipanema girls, and it was a really slick joint. You'd never believe that to look at it today. But what really, made it famous for years and years it had the best buffet in Vegas.
Wow.
So
okay.
you would think that if they wanted to bring, the Rio back to its former glory, they would have the buffet. But this guy doesn't seem to want to do it.
Okay.
So, we shall see. But like I say, I don't believe it. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with a lot of based on things that I know about the finances, I don't agree that it's a loss leader. I think they make money on their buffets in general.
Well, at $80 a pop,
Well, when they're talking the high-end ones, that's why you've got things like the Bacchanal Buffet and others.
Yeah.
But, we're seeing other things. We're still hearing not just rumors anymore, a lot of talk about M Resort coming back. And that was, after the Rio was a great buffet, really Studio B at M Resort was the one that everybody talked about. And we're hearing more scuttlebutt that it's going to happen. Still nobody's made an announcement, but we keep seeing these things about the return of certain buffets. And we're seeing something else, too, that we're calling spot buffets.
Okay, so what's that?
Well, they're kind of showing up for like once a week.
Okay.
And the perfect example of that would be, which was once a month, would be the Gospel Buffet at House of Blues.
Sure.
Where they only ran it, but only once or twice a month. So there are two of these spot buffets, once a weekers at the Wynn. One is in La Cave.
Okay.
All right, and which is kind of their small plates place. And the other is in their expensive Mexican restaurant. And, these are typically on weekends or Sundays only. So we're seeing spot buffets. We're hearing, possibilities of M Resort. I really think that the Rio's got an opportunity here. I would sure love to see that come back.
Well, yeah, that would be cool. More buffets. There's only 13 buffets in town right now.
Yeah, if you start counting the spot buffets, then you've got more.
Right.
But, this guy said people's, psychology has changed. They don't want it anymore. Boy, that's not what I'm hearing.
Interesting.
Everybody we talk to, they're always like, I wish the buffets would come back.
Yeah.
Right? We really miss the buffets.
Yeah.
So I think this is something that they just keep saying because they don't want to do it. But, I think the customers want it. I would love to see them come back.
I'd love to see it come back, too. At Resorts World, they have the fancy food court. And, so maybe that's going to be a growing trend.
Well, that's what they say. They're going to have a food court instead. So I hope not. We're going to talk about a food court a little bit, just a little bit later.
Okay. All right. And now let's talk about a little Formula One and traffic.
Yeah, our favorite subject. Right?
Yeah. Well, it's a big topic because, you just never know when this traffic's going to hit.
Well, you sort of don't. It's random. It's funny. We were talking about, you might want to rename Vegas Cone City. The cones are just everywhere.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is tied to this Formula One stuff where they're repaving. So they're doing. Somebody sent us and said it's not random. They've got a timetable, and they sent us the graphic that I think is up on the screen, showing where they're going to be doing what they call top coat paving, which means I guess that's the last step in making it race ready. And you can look at this, you can look at this graphic and you can see the timetable where they tell you where they're going to be. And essentially it's going to run all the way through the end of September. So the rest of August and through September. But here's the thing. It doesn't matter where they are. Okay, so, you look at the graphic and it says during this date, they're going to be on Harmon. And during this date, they're going to be on Koval on this part here. But it affects everything around it.
It really does.
It doesn't matter. I mean, if you're trying to cross the south end of the Strip, it doesn't matter where they're doing their work. These cones are up everywhere, and all the traffic's being diverted from where they are. So it's filling up all the other, throughways.
Right.
And you just can't. I avoid it at all costs. Anybody who's watching this, just stay away from the south end of the Strip. I mean, if you have to cross, go way south, to Russell Road or something, or go, way north towards Sahara.
Yeah.
Because now, I mean, just the other day, you and I were going down the DI flyover.
That's right.
We got backed up.
It was not a flyover.
It was a crawl.
Yeah,
right?
It was a slow over. It was a crawl over.
So you can take a look at that. I think the graphic we had up is on the Formula One website.
Yeah.
And maybe we can put a link up to that and people can look at it. But really, the fact is, until they're done doing it, you just want to stay off that side of the Strip.
Right. That's a really good summarization. So if you're going on the north end of the Strip, you want to cross at Sahara.
Yeah.
That's where you want to be. Now, here's the one that we've been teasing. You got an Oyster happy hour on the Strip at one of the fancier casinos at the ARIA.
The ARIA.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's how this happened. We were just getting ready to put the Las Vegas Advisor post it for August. And we got word that there was $1.50 oysters at ARIA. It's in the main bar in Proper Eats Food Hall.
Okay.
All right. So the Proper Eats is pretty cool. They've got a lot of restaurants. I mean, like, what are they? Like shops there where you can buy food of different kinds, but they've got a bar right in the middle, and it runs Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Okay.
And so I ran down there to take a look. And no $1.50 oysters. I mean, the first thing I'm greeted with is a sign that says $2 oysters.
Oh, okay.
So already they raised the price. I guess it was $1.50, and already they raised the price. And I can see why, because I mean the place was packed. There were people at the bar, there were people at seats. Everybody's ordering oysters. They were great. They were absolutely great. And I mean, you just don't find them for $2 anymore. And most of the places, I hate to say it, but they're $3 in most joints.
Oh, sure.
So it's pretty much a deal. Still, they serve them in groups of 6. So the six is the minimum.
Okay.
You get a dozen, you're still paying $24. But these are good. Kumeyae, I think they call them. I mean, these are the ones, I guess they have different varietals. But when I had them, there are these kumeyae that are from the Baja area. They were great, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they serve them with their own like house-made sauces, like a cocktail sauce. And mignonette, I guess is how it's pronounced.
Okay.
That you can dip them with, and horseradish and
very
and lemon.
nice.
And it's a great scene.
Yeah.
And,
well, the ARIA is a fancy casino. The ARIA is very nice, very upscale.
And here's the thing, like I say, it's 4 to 6. You can park in the ARIA garage, and you go right into the casino from the ARIA garage, and there's an escalator there by the poker room. You go right up the escalator, and that's where it is.
Okay, I know exactly where that is.
You're in and out of there in less than an hour.
Nice.
So you're not paying, so it's free. Everybody gets 1 hour grace. So you don't have to pay the parking. And you can go and, spend 45 minutes there and get $2 oysters to your heart's content, I guess, and a beer or whatever. And there's even like a pretty good foosball table at the front.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'll see you there, Anthony.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. We just haven't seen a $2 special in a while, especially on the Strip.
Yeah. All right. Well, you heard it here at the ARIA. You got that great happy hour. Also, if you like seafood, ARIA's got Catch, the really fancy seafood restaurant.
Supposedly really great sushi. I didn't know that, but I guess they do a lot of sushi there as well.
All right.
That'll be expensive.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so let me start this segment. You've been asking, and now we're going to tell you. Andrew is going to be opening for the headliner at WISEGUYS tonight.
That's right. Tonight at WISEGUYS, I am opening for the great Pauly Shore.
Wow.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, dream come true.
That's pretty strong. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, of everybody who performs there, Paulie's the main guy. So you're going to open. All right. So what does that mean?
It means I'm going to be doing 10 minutes of Andrew Hunt material about Vegas, and I'm really excited. You're going to have Anthony in the audience, and it should be it's a Pauly Shore crowd, so you know it's going to be a fun, wild crowd.
Does that have something to do with the high and tight haircut that we're looking at right here?
Yeah, that's right. I went a little young. I'm going for the young host look, so I trimmed I shaved the beard and dyed the hair, and I Hollywooded it up a little bit.
Well, congratulations to you, because I mean this is a pretty good gig. But I'll tell you, Wise Guys is cool.
Yeah,
it's just a lot of fun. It'll be 9:00 tonight, I believe. I think the tickets are $35, and well worth it. It's a lot of fun. They have food there. They sell food,
and it's First Friday.
They have drinks. Yeah, it's gonna be a happening scene. It's in the Art District downtown.
Yeah.
So break a leg. Is that what we say? Break a leg.
Break as many as it takes.
All right, cool. See you tonight.
All right, so a few weeks ago, Anthony teased that he had a really cool Megabucks story in light of the guy who won Megabucks for $12 million recently.
Right.
So we forgot to comment on it, and people in the comments were saying, "Hey, Anthony, what happened to the Megabucks story?"
Yeah, I promised. I said I got a good Megabucks story, and we'll tell it on the live stream. And we did a bunch of other things, and probably had too many beers and forgot to tell the story. All right, so this is true. The guy I'm going to talk about also named Pauly.
Okay.
Not Pauly Shore. I'm not outing him because he's told this story himself.
Okay.
All right. He's a VSIN personality, which is the Vegas Stats and Information Network. You know, one of the first sports betting shows. Pauly Howard.
Okay.
Cool guy. Good-looking dude.
Yeah.
Likes to have fun, and he's told this story himself. He had a girlfriend that I guess they were pretty serious, and the girlfriend asked him to marry her.
Oh wow. Okay.
And he didn't want to, because he was young and he wanted to do more, you know, other things. He wanted to hang out. He just didn't want to commit.
Yeah.
So she got mad, and they broke up. And I think it was a month later she hit Megabucks.
Oh, that's hilarious.
For real. And I mean, this is a true story. She hit Megabucks for either 12 or 14 million.
Oh my goodness.
And he's sitting there going, what did I just do?
Yeah,
what did I just not do? Right?
That's funny.
And I asked him, I said, so what happened? You know, you get back together? He goes, oh, no, she wanted nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
But can you imagine?
That is so funny.
You break up with a girl and she goes around the corner and hits Megabucks.
That is a fantastic story.
Gambling can be so evil, man. It can be so evil.
Yeah, it could have been half yours, Pauly.
All right, there's your Megabucks story.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's like an instant karma kind of story.
I can't help it. I laugh every time he tells it. I can't. It's just funny to me.
Yeah, that is really funny. And in this week's question of the week, it says, I will sign up for either Circa Millions or the Westgate Super Contest. Now, from a value standpoint, which contest should I enter? Assuming he's only going to enter one.
Yeah, okay, that's what he's saying. He's going to. I want to choose between the Circa Millions or the Westgate.
Now, you play the Circa Millions every year.
Yeah, and the answer to this, first of all, I thought the question was, should I play Survivor or should I play Circa Millions or Westgate? Now, to me, that's an easy one because Survivor, you know, if you lose, you're out.
Right.
So usually, we're talking football contests here, obviously, and you want to play. You know, if you're only going to play one, you want to have action throughout the year. So all right, so he's talking about two of the same kind, where you pick 5 teams every week, and then you play throughout the year. Now, what's good about this is you're in it all the way to the end. Because not only, even if you're doing really bad, they have mini contests within. So they'll say, okay, for the month of, or these 4-week period, or whatever. So you get to keep starting and restarting.
So there's a real entertainment value there.
Yeah. So you get down to, okay, do you do it at Circa or do you do it at Westgate? Well, first you look at price. Both of them are $1,000 entry fee.
So even there.
Yeah, so those are even. You look at give back. They're both giving back 100%. So it's even there. Now, if one of them turns out to have a guarantee, that would be Circa. So Circa has the possibility to have the overlay.
Right.
If Circa has an overlay, I would have to say you play the overlay.
Okay.
All right. So you would take the Circa over Westgate because Westgate does not have a guarantee, even though they give 100,000. I don't think they have a large guarantee. If they do, they're going to hit their number, so there won't be an overlay there. So if there's an overlay, I would say play Circa. But if there's not an overlay, it's Circa, and both of them are just regular 100% equity tournaments. I think the better one is probably Westgate, and the reason is they have fewer players, so the prizes will be lower, but you'll have a better chance of getting into the money.
Okay, and for the entertainment value also, because you get to play.
Yeah. Well, both of them are going to be good for that. You're going to get to
Okay.
play all the way through, but you've got a better chance. You might be in contention more with Westgate.
Oh, okay.
So it comes down to this. If one of them is an overlay, play the overlay, and that would be Circa. If neither of them is an overlay, I would say probably play the Super Contest at Westgate.
Very cool, guys. And let us know in the comments if you're going to play one or any of these tournaments.
Yeah, well, you know what? In a couple weeks, I think 2 weeks from now, we're going to have a full rundown of what's going on with all the contests coming up for football. We're going to talk about the proxy services and all of that. Right now, I can tell you we've decided the proxy we're going to recommend is called footballcontest.com.
Okay. We've talked about them before. That's right.
That's Maddie. He's been doing it for years. I got together with Maddie this year, and I said, okay, we want to pick you guys. We want to recommend you.
Right. Now, this is a service that you can get from out of state, and it's a service that will place bets for you here in Vegas.
Yeah, because if you're not living in Vegas, you can't play the contest unless you got a proxy or a friend to put the picks in for you.
Yeah.
So these services usually go, I don't know, maybe $300 a year. You have to pay for it on top of your fee. We'll tell you more about that in a couple of weeks. But if you're looking for it right now, they have all the information there, footballcontest.com.
Yep. And it's football preseason right now.
Yeah, football's about to start.
And in this week's Jackpot of the Week, it comes to us from Jackpot Jared. We're going to call him Jackpot Jared. Jared was actually in our live stream that we were our last live stream.
He was a guest. Yeah, he was in the office.
Yeah.
I think we met him at the Downtown Grand tournament.
Yeah.
And we just got to speak. He came and said hi, and we said, "Hey, we're shooting live in 2 days. Why don't you come by and have a beer?"
Yeah.
And darn if he didn't with his buddy.
Yeah.
And they were in the audience, and he says, "Oh, by the way, I just hit my third
Royal flush
of my trip."
Yeah.
I'm like 3. You hit 3 in one trip.
Yeah.
And
he goes, "Yeah, I got the pictures." And I mean, unbelievably, I mean, this is what happens.
Yeah. So he sent us a little description. You can go ahead and read it.
Yeah. So Jackpot Jared says, "I was in Vegas celebrating my 55th birthday. First Royal was at the ARIA, $4,000 on a dollar machine. Second was $4,000 at the Palms on a quarter multi-strike. That's pretty incredible, times 4. And then the third one was a nickel progressive at the Cromwell. Absolutely loved hanging with you guys. I hope to see you again soon for some beers and some video poker." Back at you, Jared.
Yeah, amazing. Sometimes we live here and we can go months and months without hitting a Royal.
Yes.
And sometimes people come for a 3-day trip or a 4 or 5 day trip and they hit 2 or 3.
That's incredible. So it's an $8,400 profit that Jackpot Jared has.
Yeah, pretty darn good. He was playing, from looking at what he sent. One was 7-5 bonus poker. That was the dollar one at ARIA. So you can go play video poker at ARIA and get some oysters.
Yeah,
right.
That's right.
That's a 98% game. The one he was playing with the nickels was not too good. That was a 96% game on a triple poker, but that's what nickels are all about. But he had that loaded with 10 coins.
That's right.
So it paid the double, paid 400, right, instead of 2. And then the third one was a multi-strike, which is a different kind of game.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty good. He got a multi-strike is a 4-line game,
right? Where
you have to win to progress to go up the lines, and he got up to the 4th line and then hit the Royal there. Multi-strike, you got to be careful with. The strategy is different in multi-strike from regular.
How so?
Well, you want to graduate lines, so you give up EV on the exact hand, on that particular hand, for more AV because of greater frequency, because you get into the multipliers.
Oh, that's interesting.
And I'll tell you what, a really good book to learn about it is Video Poker for the Intelligent Beginner by Bob Dancer.
Okay.
And he's got like 5 or 6 pages on how multi-strike works and how you change strategy and why.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, congratulations to Jared. Geez, what a trip, huh?
Yeah. Hit us up when you're coming back to Vegas, Jared. We'll have a beer.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, that's it for today. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing. Remember to share the video and leave comments because it makes the algorithm think that we're growing, and it actually helps us to grow. Last week we mentioned that we do have a store. Holla. We got these cool Las Vegas Advisor hats. So
don't mess up your hairdo, man.
Well, all right.
You got to work tonight.
Yeah, we got to get the lid going.
And the next Beer Friday is going to be August 11th.
Yes, coming up soon.
1 week from today.
Yep, and we're going to have another guest, and it'll be another live stream, and you guys can come with questions.
See you there at 4 p.m.
Yep, 4 p.m. with some beers.